Okay.
You're good.
Okay, the meeting for April 16th, 2015 is in order. Then please call the roll call.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Here.
Council members Evans, Long,
Here.
Shepherd,
Here.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Margot? Thank you. The Notice Requirement Act for the Open Public Meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 30, 2014. There are two emergency exits on the wall, one to my right that'll take you out to the front of the building, one to my left will take you out to the rear parking lot. All cell phones must be turned off. If you need to make a call, kindly make your call outside the meeting. Before we get into our ceremony, I'm going to go down the line. And Bill, you have any comments for us from council comments?
Just a couple real quick ones. In this month's New Jersey Municipalities, there's an article entitled Purchasing Green Power Without Paying More. And that, I just want to point that out, that is the conglomerate that Ocean Township was one of the original members of, the New Jersey SEM, which we talked about last month. They had their auction today, and we did come in again under market for purchasing not only electricity, but 20% from sustainable sources. The other item on tonight's agenda, Resolution 15-086, I really want to point out because it's coming to the end of a lot of work by our administrator and a lot of people. It's the agreement between the township and the state of New Jersey to purchase 14 homes along Brookside Avenue, which has floods. The state's going to come in at no cost to the town, demolish those houses, and compensate the homeowners, and allow, it's going to be close to 5 acres to go back to its natural state. So it's another about 5 acres of open space that we're adding to our township. But it's also good for the watershed, it's good for the floodplains, it's also good for the environment. So it's a real nice program. I really want to thank Andrew, because I know he put a lot of hours of work.
A lot of time.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that's right, part of the Blue Waters.
Blue Waters, yeah.
Awesome, great report, thank you. Donna, you have a report for us, please?
Yeah, just quickly that the Ocean Township Police Department investigated for numerous burglaries up in the Wayside section this past year, and the burglaries occurred usually during evening hours while the houses are dark. No one was home. In January, they began looking, and they found two people, Felix Bruno and an Anthony Goodwine, and they were monitoring these suspects through numerous different departments and jurisdictions, and had a lot of assistance from both New Jersey and New York, and they were both apprehended, and they're in jail yet because they couldn't get bail, because one was $780,000 and the $780,000, the other one was $175,000, and they're in jail, from what I was told, and there'll be future court dates, and thank goodness they finally got these people.
Yeah, thank goodness,
I
great.
mean, it was a big investigation and all, and glad it's over with.
Yeah, hats off to our OT Police Department for that. I mean, they actually were boots on the ground and went up to Newark and New York to investigate pawn shops, and were able to actually start knitting together this whole investigation that way. So it was multi-town, of course, but I got to give our guys, it's our guys, I have to give our guys a little more credit. They went above and beyond, they really did. And I think the whole process kind of assuages some of the concerns folks had while it was going on, because we were out there doing informationals, etc. And I think it helped out a lot. Mr. Long, you have a report for us, please?
Yes, Mayor, I do. I want to remind the members of council and the business community, as well as community members here tonight, the Grow Monmouth meeting will be held in this room Tuesday, May 5th at 7 p.m. The presentations will be made by the Director of Economic Development, Amy Fitzgerald, and John Chiuffo, the Executive Director. One of the freeholders, named Tom Arnone, will also be presenting vital information concerning how the county can partner with Ocean to give advice and to troubleshoot certain problems businesses may encounter. Also at the meeting, the mayor's initiative called Own Ocean will be featured, showing business owners how that tax rebate program, Own Ocean, can benefit both taxpayers and business owners.
Great, thank you, Mr.
What was the
Wall.
date?
Yes,
That's
The date?
May the 5th,
May 5th.
right here, that's a Tuesday, and that's 7 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Andrew, you have anything for us tonight?
Just a quick update on the construction projects. You may have noticed as you drove up tonight, the milling is starting on Monmouth Road, so that'll be tonight and tomorrow night, and then the paving will happen next week. Again, all the milling and paving will all be done at night. Sunset Avenue is moving along, probably about 60% finished at this point, so hopefully early next week they'll wrap that up. A little more work to do on Monmouth Road where the guardrail is to finish off the sidewalk there. And then the senior center is probably about 90% complete at this point. So that is wrapping up quickly as well.
Great, thank you. And Marty, our esteemed attorney, any updates?
I got nothing.
Do you want to help those gentlemen out with some bail money that you have on the voucher list?
Well, no, I'm just glad that maybe I don't have to keep my television on all the time when I leave the house.
It is the news. Before I give a quick report, Councilwoman Shepley, you have one more thing you
Yes,
want to
I
add?
do. There's two things. There's clean sweep on Sunday at 11 a.m., and it's been moved. It's over at Fireman's Field in Oakhurst from now on. And they're going to be doing a big clean sweep over there for all of Ocean Township. And the tree sale is coming up, but I believe the trees are sold out.
This
correct?
Saturday,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Although people who do want to have trees, that want to purchase trees, can put their names on a list, and for the next sale, they'll be considered
Wow,
first.
it's completely sold out, huh?
Yeah.
Good job.
Good
Yeah.
job, Ray.
Yeah.
Very good.
And Laurel
How
House
many,
Election.
how many trees? Just,
250.
wow.
Yeah.
Good
And
job.
Pete Maloney helped out a great deal. as
Yeah.
secretary.
Good.
Yeah.
At $9 a rattle, that was a
Bargain.
bargain.
Yeah,
It is.
well, and I said, I wanted it put back on the, on Facebook this week, and they said they're sold out. I said, what?
I know.
I couldn't believe it, I was so excited.
Yeah, it was
So that's why I
surprising.
said to Bill, maybe not mention anything.
Thank you,
So-
Environmental Commission.
Yeah, thanks.
And Shade
And
Tree.
Shade Tree.
And Shade Tree. Thank you guys for that.
Thank you very much.
Just two comments I'll make on the, our new conference room will be completed for the next meeting that we're gonna have. So all you folks, of course, when we have our workshops, they start at 5:30, then we come down here at 7 o'clock for the public meeting. You're all invited. I think it's right above this. It's gonna be a lot easier, and the room's a lot bigger as well. So if we had a crowd, if a lot of folks wanted to come in, you're welcome to do that. Come in and sit on our meetings, our workshop meetings, and get some information there as well. So at our next meeting, that'll be open, we'll be up there. And secondly, just a quick update on the sports/tennis center. Nothing's happening yet, we're just waiting on direction from Green Acres as to what our next step should be. They may want us to do a public hearing, if so, we'll do that, and we'll post notices. In the event they don't want that, the builder of the complex is willing to have an informational as well, so if folks have questions, they're welcome to come in. So either way, if we have the direction from Green Acres, if that's what they want us to do, we'll do that. If not, we'll set something else up with the developer. So with that, we have some recipients for awards tonight that we're very proud to give out because as part of members of Ocean Township or having businesses in Ocean Township, we take pleasure in that, giving these out. When we recognize somebody has something really good, we want to share it. And it's televised. So we're going to come down, all of us, and we're going to call some people up and embarrass them a little bit. And then we'll go from there. Too loud, Tommy? Okay. How's that? Good, Tom? So, tonight we have, I presume we have Brook Coffee in the house?
Yes.
Okay. So, why don't you guys come on up and I'm gonna read a little something that we have for you. And so Rook Coffee, I think everybody knows where Rook is. They have 2 locations in Ocean.
locations.
They like it so much.
And
And so-
I think 35 locations throughout Monmouth.
So this is Sean.
Yes.
I'm Chris.
Pleasure.
Holly, okay. So Sean and Holly, tell us about your first location, when you opened, and what inspired you to come here to Ocean Township.
We opened in what we call now Little Oakhurst on more or less the corner of West Park Avenue and Monmouth Road. And it was just about 5 years ago. Just over 5 years ago.
5 years, yeah.
And before, when we were doing research on where to open our store, we were looking around all in Monmouth County, and Holly had asked me, she said, oh, you know, where, if you thought would be the best place to open, where would it be? And I had pointed out the plaza where Hot Bagel Bakery is and a few other businesses. And I was like, I really like that area for a number of reasons. And I was like, but there's nothing really available. And, well, I think later that day,
Yeah, I was
she was
driving, it was the
driving
next morning.
and saw
I
a
was like, let me drive, Bob.
little for sale sign,
It was like
or
this
for
tiny
rent,
for
yeah.
rent. And called him, like from the corner. I pulled over in the back of Mike Duffy's and I was like, there's the smallest building, it's very small,
Just
but,
hear me
but,
out.
but just listen. You might get a roaster in the back, I think. You know, and lo and behold, we've grown to have a big Oakhurst down the street. And
That's great.
of course, our facility is also in Ocean Township, over on Valley Road.
Oh, great. So that's where you make the coffee, that's your roastery,
That's
is
the
it?
roastery.
Yes.
Okay. And so you guys, where are you from? You're from Monmouth County, I presume, right? You live
I
in the
grew up
area?
in West Long Branch,
Oh.
right off Monmouth Road.
Yeah, in West Long Branch and then Oceanport as I grew up, yeah.
Outstanding. Well, Ocean
Holly's
Township,
dad is one of the premier artists of Monmouth County.
Oh, is that
I
right?
used to work with Butch,
Yeah.
I worked with Butch at Monmouth Regional for
Yeah.
many
Oh,
years.
you did?
Yeah.
Yes, so he's been in Monmouth
Yeah, yeah.
County, I mean, my parents have been in Monmouth County forever, but
Yeah.
he still does art throughout the
Had
county.
a
and-
great display at Monmouth University last
Yeah.
couple of months.
Yeah.
see? So you have roots here, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So tell me,
Yeah.
so then the second location, that came about how? You decided you grew out of this one, or you just, there was a need?
Well.
We,
the-
one of our customers, Todd Katz, owns Sipperstein's, and he approached us about opening a new store within his complex in Long Branch. We were like, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we knew we had, with the crowds, we had the lines and the parking. I mean, who knew 9 parking spaces wasn't enough, and now we know. So we knew, you know, we had the demand, and we wanted to be somewhere that wasn't too far away, because we wanted to break up some of that, you know, crazy demand, but also, you know, be a little bit further away so we could get a new crowd, and it worked out. It worked out really well.
Great. Well, congratulations, we're glad to have you guys here, and we recognize you by way of this proclamation. So, I'm not gonna read it all, but I'll read some excerpts, because it says a lot of nice things about you guys and about your business, and I think some of it you have just mentioned now. But I'm gonna read a part here. So in addition to brewing and serving a great cup of coffee, these entrepreneurs wanted to establish a visionary coffee company, complete with multiple coffee bars, right? A roaster and a distribution center. So that's up in the that's in Valley Road?
On Valley Road, yeah.
So folks can come in and buy your coffee?
Not at that location.
Okay.
That's where we produce the
Okay.
coffee, we roast and brew.
Okay, and so bottled and cold brew business online. Okay, I got it, great. So, let me say this, whereas due to the overwhelming success of their business venture, Rook Coffee is in the process of opening 2 additional coffee houses in Colts Neck and Manalapan, while helping to launch the careers of 80 store managers. This is great.
80
80
employees.
employees.
Everybody's a manager.
So 80 and professionals, et cetera. And so now be it proclaimed that the Township of Ocean hereby extends a heartfelt congratulations to Rook Coffee, Holly, and the Sean owners for their successful business venture and for creating a place where customers can come in and feel at home. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. All right.
Pictures, everybody?
Photo.
And my name is Andrew Housen. Come over here.
I didn't want to get in your way. One more. Thank you. Great.
And that's Amanda, she does all our marketing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Give my best to you, mom and dad.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Great job.
That's
Really great.
You can get one over at Township. Come in to get you coffee. Great product.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Say what Andrew.
Okay, so, that was great, so we're glad to have them. Next, we have another very, very special presentation. So there's a woman in the room here that worked for the township for many, many years, and very valuable services. In fact, my time on the planning board, this woman would come in, and our planning board meeting sometimes went till 11 o'clock at night, and there was somebody there recording it and taking the notes and the minutes and et cetera, kind of our stenographer, if you will. And that was Margot Simpson. And so Margot's done a lot for this town, and she's just given so much. So we have this proclamation for her many years of services. You want to read it with me, or you like me to take it?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
You got your glasses.
Whereas Margot Simpson began her employment in the Township of Ocean in 1986 and was promoted to Secretary to the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Adjustment in the summer of 1987, and whereas in addition to Margot's daily job responsibilities, she has played an integral part in the election process of the Township of Ocean, serving as elections clerk, helping to facilitate the election process in the Township for many years. And whereas throughout her employment with the Township of Ocean, Margot has demonstrated her desire to help the many residents, businesses, and people in need that come in contact with her in her many capacities, always treating them with kindness and respect that they deserve. And that is so true. Whereas during Margot's tenure with the Township of Ocean, she has continually volunteered her time and talents in many capacities, dealing with those who are struggling to live a productive life, including serving as a member of the Human Service Council, the Alliance to Prevent Drug and Alcohol Abuse, as a member of the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, as a member of the Community of Hope Fund, and assisting with the relocation of residents of Poplar Village during the many evacuations that have occurred. And whereas Margot volunteerism know no boundaries, as she has also given her time to serve as a valuable member of the Community Celebration Committee, as well as being a tremendous supporter and contributor to the Township's annual Thanksgiving food drive and many other special events that the Township has held throughout the many years. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Township of Ocean hereby commends Margot Simpson.
Anything you'd like to say, Margot?
Sure. I worked for the town for 25 years, and I've had so many wonderful memories here. I worked with great people. I went to all the planning board meetings and all the board of adjustment meetings because I was the secretary. And over 25 years, I only missed 2 of those meetings. Yes. This is very exciting for me because listening to what Donna read, it sounded like she was reading about somebody else. I didn't realize that all of that was available to you to find. But I think Vinnie, who probably wrote this, might have embellished it a little bit because I've always had a good relationship with Vinnie. So thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be here. And I have to be in Cranberry at 8 o'clock, so I have to run.
That was a truncated version of what you've done, believe me.
Oh, that's my Kevin.
I got yours, sir. I forgot. Thank you. I would have forgotten one. Smile. Oh, one more time, Chris.
Smile again.
I caught you. Nice.
Thank you, Margot.
Thank you.
Always put a smile on your face.
Well, not always.
Yeah, how is that always, Bill? I see.
Okay, at this time, we're going to adjourn back up to the dais. You folks are welcome to stay if you like, and to hear some of our town business, or... Oh, we have one more? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. One more. Wait a minute.
So at this time, we're going to stay down here. We have another recipient. So, Renee Emilio, come on up. Renee, too, here now, for her many years of volunteerism in Ocean Township. Renee, before we read all this for you, tell us about how you started.
Over here. Put me on the spot.
I do that, it's my talk show.
I actually met a member of the Environmental Commission at a Sustainable Jersey meeting, and we were both Ocean Township residents, and I was already very interested in the sustainability of not just our town, but of New Jersey, and she brought me to an Environmental Commission meeting, and the rest has been history, so it's been just about 5 years now, and I've been very, very honored to work with such a great team at Ocean Township, in administration, and in the Environmental Commission, so.
And it's good to hear, because Ocean Township, I mean, we really are only as strong as our volunteer network. It really is what it comes down to, and it's on every level. And it starts from here, right on through our fire department, et cetera, recreation coaches. Town couldn't function without the volunteers that we have. And we have some very dedicated people, such as Renee and others that come through here. So it's good that we recognize you folks for what you do, because like I said, you're the heart and soul of the town. You really are. So we're going to read some excerpts here for you, because we usually don't read them all. But, so whereas her duties, responsibilities, and members of the corporate communication team, Renee manages customer and employee communications while advancing the company's Conserve to Preserve initiative, and was also instrumental in helping the company advance the Save Green Project, the New Jersey Natural Gas Energy Efficient Initiative. And whereas, in addition to her family and career responsibilities, Renee has given many hours of volunteer service as a member of the Environmental Commission since 2010. And whereas Renee has spearheaded, like that? That's Richie's word. The Sustainable Jersey application process to the Township of Ocean, where we received the bronze certification 2011 and 2014, which is awesome, and has anxiously anticipated working with the Township in the spring of 2015 to assist the receipt of the Sustainable Jersey Silver Certificate. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Township of Ocean hereby commends Renee Emilio. Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Hold up your proclamation. There's a couple shots of you here.
Didn't think you were getting up. One more time. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. No, my fault.
Okay, wait, there's one more. No, there's not. There is one more, but she's not here tonight, so we've got to hold that until the next meeting. So at this time, you folks are welcome to stay and listen to some very important business, or we're going to adjourn to the day, so you're welcome to get some homework done.
I hope that will be fine. Down to Jason.
Good, thank you. Thank you again for coming. Sit down.
Okay. Hopefully Tommy doesn't have a close-up here. I'm wearing Donna's second pair of glasses. I lost mine earlier, so.
They look good on you.
So,
We wouldn't have said anything, then we would have noticed.
now he's zooming in. The purpose of this public portion is solely to ask questions, understand resolutions and vouchers that appear on this agenda, not an occasion for public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion or at the conclusion of the meeting. Anybody from the public, will open it up if you have something. Mr. Geiger, come on up to the microphone, name and address, please.
Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere. On the vouchers. Actually, I have no problem with it. I'm all for it. On the clean sweep supplies, that's like, page 1. Advanced Healthcare Network. Clean sweep. Probably medical type gloves, because they may be encountering all sorts of nasty stuff, sharp objects, etc. And anything they might need for that project, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now, I realize what these next two items down are, well, actually 3 of them. I got one recommendation to avoid that, or 2 parts. On the sewer clogs, either or, use less toilet paper, or, go far enough out, and, well, never mind. let's not go there with that.
Yeah, let's not.
That's not.
Back to serious stuff, or somewhat serious. American Psych Publication, comm service books. Is that for human services?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's my guess, but I just like to check my guesses. And while $130 isn't a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, at least around here, when you look at all the bills, ANJR, this meeting, is that for their registration or $130?
It's the recycling, Association of New Jersey Recycling. It's the New Jersey Recycling, it's a class that they attended.
Okay. So that was the charge for the class?
Yes.
Okay. From Atlantic Plumbing Supply Corp., what the heck is a rig dig drum machine with auto feed? Ooh.
Well, it's interesting you asked that,
Yeah.
because that's actually the piece of equipment that will allow us to no longer pay aim to drain.
Oh, okay.
So,
Very good. Outstanding.
The unclogger.
It's an unclogger.
It's a plunger.
Well, that too.
A very big plane.
A very big plane.
Robot.
Underneath that, Avtech software, room alert monitor, where, who, is it for the police department or?
that is for the police department.
Okay, good guess. I'm getting good at this stuff. Buyer Ford, we put a four-wheel drive 215 Ford F-250. That's, a lot of times they'll say state contract.
That
I'm
is state
guessing-
contract, yes.
Okay, it didn't say, but I figured, probably does. I figured that out. All by myself, by the way. BSN Sports, fitness program supplies, is that recruit through rec fees or stuff like
Yes,
that?
it is.
Okay. Boy, am I getting good? I don't know. The cable supply, door needed for golf course, the old door has seen better days, I guess, or?
Yes.
Okay, is that a really, really good door for $500?
Very good door.
A very good door. Okay. And,
It repels golf balls.
whoa. Now, I think for $3,290, instead of Barracuda Spam Fireball, we should have gotten Great White Shark. I mean, just a thought. Now, I know what that is. I'm just curious, on the redemptions, I know what they are. On page 2, there's a whole chunk with one individual. Does that raise any concerns at all or not?
No, those are, the tax liens are sold.
Yeah.
Used to be a live auction, now it's done online.
Yeah.
So they could.
They could be in
buy as
China.
many as they
The guy
want.
could be in China.
Could be in China.
Okay. And from Circle Chevrolet, I didn't realize that part of our illustrious police department, or the detectives, got parts from Hyundai. Inspector Gadget? Okay, I'll stop now. But serious, on Gregor Safety Diagnostic, for the alcohol test machine, do we buy that, or $373? A little bit more than halfway down.
Yeah, that's for the recertification.
Oh, recertification, okay. And then, East Coast Emergency Lighting, strobes for police cars, how many strobes do we get, you know? offhand?
Those are for the new vehicles, so it'll be 2.
Okay. Do they throw in a disco ball?
You gotta buy 3 for that.
Okay. And expert online training, which I'm guessing the rec staff training is done online. What type of training, and does everyone get it?
It's a requirement, and it's to meet our insurance company's requirements that they have for staff training. Remember, most of these people are gonna be seasonal.
Right.
So it's just easier to have them do it online.
Okay, I have no problem with that. And on Fox floors, I'm guessing probably some rugs. Police department, building improvements. Next, well, if you go from the bottom up, it's the third one up from the bottom for almost $1,200.
That's for the upstairs conference room, and then also a small piece of carpeting in the police department.
Okay. And I know what it is. That's a big piece of radiator for $2,350. from H&H Mac sales? Obviously just one, right?
Yes.
Boy. Radiator
Truck
truck.
94.
Hmm?
For truck 94.
Yeah, I know, I saw that, as opposed to car 54. What is, I may mispronounce the person's name, Kirk, electrical license, $600?
Kirk is an employee within the Department of Public Works.
Okay, and he needs an electrical license because he does electrical work
Correct.
as part of his
Job
job?
responsibility.
Job
yes.
responsibility. Okay, that makes sense. And I have to remind you, I offered it, I mean, I don't know, for the deli, I mean, peanut butter and jelly goes a long way, but okay. Lakewood Blue Calls, and it says summer camp field trip. Obviously, we're not into the summer, and we're not going back to last year, but this was some type of field trip, it's just labeled under summer camp, or?
Well, they purchased the tickets now to be used during the summer.
Okay. Okay. And I know he does engineering work for the Township, for a vacuum or vacuum. I mispronounced it, I apologize to the gentleman. Does OT mean overtime? Does OT mean Ocean Township?
Ocean Township.
Okay. And I hope that it was magical. Last one, recycling, and then it says CC Assembly on that same page, after the
very best.
Magical results.
magical results.
I'll have to check with, back with you on that one, Don. I don't know if you got it.
Whoa!
Got one time.
I'm not gonna keep score.
I'm gonna keep thinking about it till you're finished, though. Maybe I'll remember.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
You're almost done though, right?
No.
Maybe you should have come back.
Vinny, text Gallagher.
I will.
And not that I'm, and it's an interesting amount, 57 for staff meeting supplies. I mean,
For
what's
staff-
wrong with brown bags?
That's for staff meeting supplies.
Okay. Again, McCaffrey, doctor, medical consulting, is that for human services again?
That is for human services, yes.
Oh, no. If we keep it up, I may not have any questions pretty soon. Now, New Jersey Advanced Media, election candidate ad, or is that miswritten somehow?
That's what it is. It's the ad that I put in the paper to announce the candidates that file petitions.
Oh, the announce who
It's
files.
it's actually a Star Ledger, and
Yeah,
they're pretty
whatever.
basic.
Okay, but you're just naming, you're not taking an ad up or?
Oh, no.
It's just saying who's running.
Now, by law, I have to advertise who filed.
Who's on first,
Yep.
and what's on second, and I don't know who's on third. Ocean Township Auto Body, probably from an accident, 5, 6, 7, 60, probably will our insurance cover some of that, any of it, all of it?
Our insurance will cover all that particular.
Okay. And then there's two things for Penn State Justice and Safety for the police department, which again, do we know offhand how many, well, one is budgeting for law enforcement for $690, and then high impact supervision for $450. Are those courses, do they go there?
Those are courses, but they don't actually go to Penn State. They're
Right.
held locally.
Okay.
And that would be, the one on the 691, that's for 3 officers, and the other one, I believe, is for 2.
Okay. Oh, and the same question, which hopefully the answer will be the same, for Rich's Auto Body at the bottom of that page for a '08 Hyundai. Might as well just donate it to somebody at this point, but anyway, that's gonna be covered by insurance?
Yes.
Okay. And, okay, and I pretty well deciphered it, but it seems like a pretty big chunk of money from, on the next page, SHI International Corp. And that's the police department, and then it's a closed circuit TV project for almost $47,000. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We had talked about that earlier. We had some cameras throughout the building, but
Right.
it wasn't really fully integrated.
Okay.
So what we did is we added probably 12 cameras throughout the building in different areas, and then we integrated all that into a common location down in the police department so they could be monitored and taped, and
All that
so
stuff.
it really was a way to bring that all together under one project so that it could be fully integrated.
Okay. So basically, for a simple person like me, it's a large control room. They can see, A, what's going on, and B, it's taped. Now, the tape's retained, or after a certain period of time, they're gone over what?
They are retained, but there is, and I'm not familiar with the process, how they can ultimately clear those tapes.
Yeah.
But there is a holding period, and then after that time, they can be, they're not even really destroyed because they're electronic, but they can
Right.
just be deleted.
Okay. And I'm guessing this is a pass-through. Holiday care activity for shore lanes.
It is.
Took a bunch of people bowling. You never invited me, though. I don't know. Street signs, is that an estimate or what? Is that a number and BER, signs, safety devices? Do you offhand how many street signs?
I don't know on that, Don.
Oh, two. Okay. And TF Media Group. Now, there's a whole bunch of letters. I know what the last one means. The others I'm not so sure about. Advertising, then it says SMPE, SMR, and then the colonial.
The SMP is Summer Project Extend,
Okay.
Summer Rec, and then Colonial Terrace Golf.
Okay. And treasurer of our wonderful state, Ocean Glades LSRP annual fee for almost $8,000.
LSRP is its licensed site remediation professional.
Okay.
So that property is in the process of being remediated. There's no real major contamination there, but it is going to have to be remediated.
Okay.
In order to do that, you have to contract with an LSRP to do that.
Okay. Basically, for a shortened version, which I appreciate your definition really to do, it's almost like something was spilled, of course, in the ground that shouldn't be there, and they gotta get it out of there. In a sense.
Well, exactly, but the thing is, the state really, they charge the fee, but they don't oversee the project anymore. You use a private
Yeah,
consultant to do that.
I figured that. State doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. And actually, I'm curious, why do we do a Medicaid provider application for $542?
Because some of the counseling services at Human Services are reimbursed through
Oh, Medicaid, okay, that makes sense. Now, I've got a recommendation for the postage for the tax collector. Get a couple bicycles. I mean, hey, they get exercise, help their health, save some money, you know, just a thought. And would you believe that's all, folks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Step up to the microphone, name and address, please.
Barbara Hudson, Mahar's Drive. Mr. Gardner is a service by going through this, but it's just making me think. I'm a trusting soul. I see all this list, where I just, assume it's okay. Is there anywhere where this is all related somewhere in paper? I mean, how do I know? And I trust you, so how do I know all these items?
You're looking for a detailed explanation
Yeah,
of
I'm
each
just
item?
wondering, he's
Well,
making me
I think-
curious. He's making me curious that, if you did want to know, because they're just listed, is there something that would explain that?
Well, there's a requisition and a voucher behind each one of those expenditures
Right, and where would they be?
in the finance office.
So you'd have to go to finance office with anything that you, okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Hudson, please. step up to the
Thank you.
microphone.
Just a couple of informational things. On the closed workshop agenda, there's a topic D2, Planning Board, Zoning Board application update. I'm not looking for any details, but could you just tell me what?
Yes, we're trying to make the process a little friendlier and simpler downstairs. So when folks come in for something, an application, before that, we're going to try to dedicate sometime, for now, we'll start it one day a month where they can meet with the planner maybe and Mary Ann with their plans to kind of help them guide this package and make it maybe a one-stop process or a one-visit process. They come in, show us what you want to do, and then we'll tell you what's needed when you go before the board, so you're not coming back over and over again. I think that's been a arduous chore for folks when they have to come out 2 or 3 times for a deck, a fence, a roof, or things like that. So we're trying to do that. It's just something new that we're rolling out.
Well, that sounds like a useful thing to do. My question was related to whether that was for any specific pending item. but-
No, just, feedback we've
Okay.
been hearing. You have a new mayor and a new council here. We're just trying to
Fair enough.
make it easier.
Just one more thing on resolution 091, for providing court security at the municipal court at $14.50 an hour. I was just wondering what we pay our police officers and whether they would be able to do that on a competitive
It's usually a
basis.
special one that we're trying to get. I think I'll let Andrew finish up that.
Right now, we're currently set up with 2 Class 2s and 1 Class 1 to run security during a normal court day.
Yeah.
So all we're doing here at this point is filling those Class 1 and Class 2 positions is sometimes difficult because we're limited on how many we can have, but we have these seasonal towns where they need 30 and 40 officers, so they tend to want to go there and work because they're going to get more hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to supplement the 2 Class 2s with 1 private security officer right now, which would eliminate the Class 1. I think they make about $13 an hour, the Class 1s. That's just their base wage. You obviously have the fringes on top of that. There's no
Yeah.
benefits, but you have the fringes.
Okay, and you don't have any benefits with the contracted service, I
Yeah,
guess?
that was bid out, and that was the low bid.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Please come on up to the microphone, state your name and address. Hey, Michelle. I said that.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Lee, 1404 Sunset Avenue. I know this is not a zoning board and probably isn't a venue, but guidance, if we want to ask questions about the tax exempt possibility of status of the yeshiva, where do we go? Who do we ask? Because when I went to the planning board meeting, they said, somebody asked about it.
You
And they
can
said
come
there's-
in, Michelle, if you want to come in any day to the tax department.
And
You
just
can
ask
come on
them.
up, yep, and we
Okay.
have folks up there.
Yeah, because obviously that's not what the zoning board does, so they.
No,
they
that
couldn't
would be
address
in
that. Okay.
their purview, and they'd be glad
Do
to
it, yeah.
explain it to you.
Okay, thank you. The digital sign out front, is everything still getting posted on the website? Actually, one of my colleagues asked me that. She hadn't seen something, and she thought perhaps you were replacing what goes on the website, but no?
Not
Okay.
intentionally, if there was an
Okay, she
incident
probably
that
just-
happened.
She probably just missed something, okay. Do you have a question? Also, in the past year or so, there have been some very bright neon crosswalk signs, pedestrian crossing signs on Logan Road. Is that part of a program or a plan, or was that a request by a resident?
No, we did some new sidewalk work there, and
Yeah,
I think
there's-
along with that just comes that, as you'll see when you do a new roads program or
And then we
sidewalk.
met with the Board of Ed because those are more or less where the bus stops are. And if you're going to have a crosswalk in the roadway, in the pavement, then the requirement is that you have the advance warning signs so that people have some notice that they're about to come into a crosswalk area.
Okay, if it's a bus stop area, then do I only see it on Logan Road and not, on my street where the bus stops or other places? Or
Well,
is it-
we just haven't gotten to them yet. And we, remember, we redid the pavement. We
Right.
resurfaced Logan Road, and when we
Yeah.
did that, we did it all as a package. And as the mayor said, we also did the sidewalks there.
Okay, that's unfortunate because they're very unattractive. Actually, they're hideous.
The thing of the safety of the children really is what it comes down to. They
Yeah,
figure they have more
that's too bad.
visibility. yeah.
That's too bad. It's not very indicative of the gracious Lord community. But anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Good, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Tonight, we have the consent agenda. We have the minutes from the April 2nd, 2015 workshop, April 2nd, and resolutions 15082 through 15088. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight we have for individual action, 15089. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the vouchers. Vouchers in the amount of, one on the second page. $3,507,043.96. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second, please.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Okay, for individual action, we have 15089, authorize the tax collector to issue a refund to a taxpayer who have been declared a totally disabled veteran and have received a homestead rebate credit on their taxes. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 15090, authorize the tax collector to issue a refund credit to those taxpayers that have received a favorable state tax appeal judgment. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
All right. Second, please.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 15091, authorize a contract with Number One Security Investigations, Inc. for an unarmed security for the Ocean and West Long Branch courts at a cost of $14.50 per hour, not to exceed $15,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 15092, authorize Chapter 159 budget adjustment, the Joint Insurance Fund Safety Grant. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight for introduction only, we have ordinance number 2242. Ben, you want to read the title?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 3 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean entitled Police Regulations.
Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and also for introduction only, it's ordinance number 2243. Ben, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 entitled The Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean.
Yes. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and they'll have their public hearing on May 7th. Okay, anybody from the audience want to come on up? State your name and address. Mr. Hudson's allowed, of course. Well, 007 will be first.
47 is on.
07. Benny, you have the information, all
Yes,
right? Okay. I know this is like beating a dead horse. The signs that are up there, the handwritten signs, houses for sale,
Yeah.
get this, get that, they're proliferating all over the place. And I know
We had that discussion.
We had that discussion.
No, tonight in workshop.
Okay, because
We're with you.
they're becoming greater and greater, and it doesn't help our
We're going to have a
township.
zone and sweep tomorrow, party.
Anyway, having the police department, when they ride by, if they see them, remove them?
Well, it's really not the purview of them to remove them, but they can call into us, and we do have someone that can ride around and pick them up, Doc. We can do that.
Okay, fine.
And we will
Thank
do
you.
that. Thank you. And if you see any more, just call them in.
Outside.
Where
No,
did you
they are
see those
all-
yellow signs?
I mean,
Where are your yellow signs that you're just talking about?
you'll find on Sunset Avenue, right across from, I can't go northeast, south, or
Yeah.
west. It's where the lawyers are in that
Okay.
building.
Yeah.
Right on that post, there's always signs.
Okay.
And
I haven't been over there
even
this
when you,
week, so.
you probably didn't see it at night, but when you came out of Cedar Village, on the other side of the road, where you had to turn around, got all Wycket signs now.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else, please come on up to the microphone. Oh, I think we have someone coming.
Okay. I wait.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll
15-minute rule.
You can't
I'd like to refer to the last council meeting on April 2nd, when Councilman Garofalo, on behalf of the council, credited the council for its fine appointments to the sewage authority of technical and moral members that had resulted in a first-class model of what a politically appointed board should be. While that is true, and we agree with Mr. Garofalo's understandable pride in this accomplishment, it remains only half the story, which still needs to be explained to residents as to why such changes or any changes were needed. If I remember correctly, the authorities board of the time of endemic corruption and until clearly and publicly exposed was composed almost entirely of former council members and other operatives who were rewarded for their past service to the council, or excuse me, to the township or to the council. These appointees received generous health and retirement benefits while on the board, and were also able to extend and enhance previously earned state benefits packages, even to a point through continued reappointment that these state benefits became permanent. With such continued reappointments, the atmosphere became cozy and congenial. Is it any wonder then, particularly when the board was responsible for overseeing considerable sums of money, that the board's most susceptible members were overcome by temptation and later forced to retire, or that certain of the board professional service contractors had to be terminated? 4 individuals were later indicted. 2 former members, one the chairman anyway, one directly because of his actions on the board, and the other for activities as township mayor, as well as 2 professional contractors, the board auditor and the board engineer. 3 of the 4 indicted served jail terms, and the 4th got off with community services. I certainly do not wish to impute any evil motives to any other board member who served honorably and well for many years, but I do wish to make the problem and its causes clear. My main concern is that while council taking credit for these appointments, explain how they came about so that we can be assured that such positive actions will continue for all future appointments to township boards of the best and most professional people available, rather than any political friends, relations, or political associates.
Thank you very much. Yeah, again, the whole idea was just to replace them with folks that we thought would add a little value to the board itself. So, as you saw, engineer, lawyer, other professionals like that. And that was just our thought. It had, we weren't thinking about corruption. I don't know why you brought that up from way back when, but whatever. But that's the way it's going to be. That's how we like to appoint those boards. We're just trying to add a little more professionalism to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up. Or you can just have seats.
So we're talking about last time, right?
Okay.
So I'm talking about the core. At last council meeting, I requested that council consider putting time limits on how long one person could ask questions or make comments, in order that others have their opportunity in a reasonable time, and that no one be denied, just delayed, able to come back when others have finished. Mayor Siciliano understandably noted that he did not like to use time limits, but would ask speakers to be considerate of others. For us, either way will do. If effective, that request should not be in any way be considered, as Mr. Arbistro, the Barbara Hudson rule. Rather, it seems to us a simple common courtesy. On that subject, we would also like to note that good decorum must come from the dais as well as the audience, that speakers be allowed, without interruption, to put forth clearly as best they can, in the manner they choose, their questions or comments, and that council get a handle on joking about whatever residents might say or do. For instance, since we come to most of the meetings and often have longer and more involved questions or comments, and that we choose to go later. All right, that's the point. This, as Fenton has even explained, is why he particularly waits for others. Yet this courtesy seems to have devolved into a recurring joke about ending meetings with Mr. Hudson. While we enjoy a joke as well as anyone else, we have come to see, especially as we are all now on television, that those on the dais prefacing comments like that can come to demean residents' comment, and so formally request council to take with the utmost seriousness what we or any other resident has to say, whether you agree or not, since it is our right to say it and your duty to listen and consider in what is supposed to be an open government. Television is a wonderful community asset that is an important form of communication for residents to come to know what is happening in their township, and especially what actions their political bodies are taking that in a real sense control their lives. Both councils and citizens share responsibility. On the one hand, for residents not to make a showplace out of it or go on endlessly and tediously while the audience grows impatient, and also not for council to use it to promote and protect themselves. If not so respected, community television may simply go the way of so many other public assets, becoming self-indulging and/or politically incorrect, and then useless and corrupt. For these reasons, council needs at these meetings to exercise its prerogative to control proceedings. For not doing so will inevitably lead to abuse of the format in which they have the greater advantage. Demeaning citizen action from the podium can throw council into a false positive light, as masters knowing best. Certainly that is true sometimes, but not all the times, making it imperative that television action on both sides be fair and balanced, and in that way give no one an advantage. I will comment on the tennis courts later.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up, Mr. Geiger.
I'm still Don Geiger, and I still live at 1108. I want to interject something about the comment from that one person about those signs that are the crosswalks on Logan. While to some eyes they may not be aesthetically pleasing, if I was weighing them on a scale, signs that call attention to maybe kids or anyone crossing the street that draws my attention and their safety, as opposed to nice, really restrained signs that maybe someone will see, maybe not, because we have a lot of inattentive driving these days. I'll go with the ones that aren't aesthetically pleasing. That's just one person's opinion. And that the person commented entitled to theirs, and maybe in their view, they're kind of tacky. But again, tacky over safety, I view safety wins.
Okay.
Quick comment on our great police department, and they are great.
Yeah.
My interactions with them, which have fortunately been very few, have always been very positive. However, and I don't remember the number on the car, one of the officers is assigned to kind of keep an eye on things on the Sunset Avenue project. And traffic was backing up a little bit, going eastbound on Sunset. They're working on the curbing and the sidewalks. And I didn't observe the whole thing. What I saw was the officer, whoever he was, watching all the work and not turning around to see what was happening with the traffic behind him. Now, maybe that was just a minute and a half window, and I don't want to throw bricks at him, because there's one vehicle that was trying to make a left on that, whatever that street is, by Fox Floors, that goes down
Fairmont Avenue?
Goes down to Fairmont Avenue. That little, I don't even know the name of it, he probably has one, but you know where I am.
Yes.
And this person really just, it came close, because traffic was backing up, cars slow, but the way they were turning, I could see maybe a T-bone happening.
Yeah.
So I would just pass it on. You know, I understand they should watch traffic and what's going on there, but maybe turn around and see what's going on in the other direction.
Okay.
I want to get back to our wonderful golf course, which I've never visited, and maybe I should just walk around. I need to walk, look up some of that. Do you know yet whether it broke even or made some money?
It did not make money. I can get the number for you, I just don't have it off.
Okay, because I know last time we talked about it, isn't it thrown in with the pool as far as?
Overall.
It's not,
Right.
Overall.
Overall, by itself, it doesn't make money. It loses some, and it varies year to year, depends on weather. Anywhere from 23 to 80,000, depends on how extreme the weather was.
Yeah, I know.
Or how many rounds, but lumped in with our other facilities, yes, it's a positive.
It's still a positive.
And
And
overall
I
benefit, of course.
I would comment, I would rather have us on that one entity lose a little bit and keep that open space for some
absolutely.
type of recreation, as opposed to close it down and someone buy it up and throw more McMansions up. And on the tennis facility, I just want to comment, I remember that being raised, I'm not sure about last year, but earlier part of 2015. And I guess the only, I know when you guys go to planning board and everything like this, and I saw some of the questions raised by reading Mr. Hudson's summary. And some of those I felt, and knowing something Mr. Hudson, I really admire him. Did we get multiple bids for?
We did. Here's what happened. We put it out to RFP. And I'm going to explain to you simply. 3 bidders were interested in picking up packets. One was a very big company that done good sports, I believe it was, who's very familiar with this process. Looked over the bid, inquired if they can put something a little less than what we were looking for up there. We said, you know, you have to put your offer in writing, then we'll talk. So, no, the only real written offer we got was from the current company. And like any real estate deal, that tells you one thing. The other 2 didn't think it was worth it. Didn't think it was a great deal. To them, it wasn't worth it.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much.
Sure. Anybody else for the first time? Come on up.
Sidney McCash, Larchwood Avenue, Oakhurst section. I came to a council meeting, I think
A month ago.
A month ago, okay. And one of the suggestions I made was that when press releases come out about incidents, that they be identified as college incidents. And the reason is that it's very important for the people in the town to understand what the source of the problems are. And it also keeps it in front of your eyes, as well as the police. Now, I understand that there are different segments that would be very happy, you know, the students for one, landlords, the out-of-state landlords who profit from this would be another, and of course Monmouth University would be another. The truth of the matter is the problem will never end, because every 4 years the population is turned over. So the best that we can hope to do is to keep this in front of the public eye and be vigilant and try and keep it tamped down. So subsequent to my coming down here, I get a Nixle report of an underage drinking party on Overbrook Avenue. And with a little bit of research, this is what I found. 3 accused for allegedly providing alcohol to minors. Each one of them is a Monmouth University student. There was someone additionally who was charged with, I think, fleeing, and she is a Monmouth University student. There were 12 minors provided alcohol at this party. I checked the ones that I could check, and I can tell you that at least 10 of them are Monmouth University students. This is a Monmouth University party, and they need to be held accountable. And I did a little further looking, and it seems that the name of one of the people who is accused of allegedly providing alcohol to minors, that name appeared some time ago as Monmouth University student designated driver hero of the year. Monmouth University student was named designated driver hero of the year at a ceremony at Monmouth University. She'll be featured on hero campaign billboards located on the New Jersey Turnpike. In addition, she receives $300 Monmouth small gift certificate, a plaque, and a hero t-shirt. What we have here, if this is the same person, and I think it probably is another Monmouth University publicity stunt gone wrong. And they need to hold their students accountable. And I would suggest that, I know that several of you go to the task force meeting.
We had one yesterday.
And I would suggest that what you do is ask them if before homecoming, they could contact the renters once again. Because there was a terrible party on South Lincoln, which later, the same house wound up with numerous arrests and one transported to the hospital.
Yeah.
That could have been prevented. And then again, when the second semester starts, and once again as the weather gets nicer, as the students go along and nothing happens, because we don't call the police at the drop of a hat.
Right.
And as they go along with nothing happening, they feel more comfortable, and they need to be reminded. And I would just ask you if perhaps you could suggest that to Monmouth University.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I certainly appreciate everything that you.
That is great, Sid, thank you for that, that is a good idea.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Mrs. Hudson, once again, come on up.
This is at the last meeting of the tennis courts. On the subject of new indoor tennis courts being constructed on township property in front of the township's community pool, at the last council meeting, April 2nd, we mentioned that as far as we knew, no one in the township had been aware a commercial company was to build tennis courts on township land, especially those living in the neighborhood who might have their open space being replaced with 2 huge buildings, and also faithful pool club members, many of whose membership go back to the origin in the 70s. During that discussion, Attorney Arbus and Councilman Long both countered that we had erred, as we, the Hudsons, knew about the courts and had even written about them. Checking our reports, we found that we mentioned tennis courts only twice. First in the report of December 19, 2014 council meeting, and again in the report of February 19, 2015 council meeting. In both reports are comments related to the fact that the public did not know about the court. Further, in the December 19th report, we explained that we had only recently found out about the tennis courts when one of our readers, who heard about them through the grapevine, contacted us to ask if we had heard about them. As we informed him, his message was the first we heard of any indoor tennis courts. That resident came to the December 19th meeting to ask about details of the courts, and also in the audience sat 2 of the commercial developers. Other comments in this report included one of the mayor's responses that he had talked with dozens of people who knew about the court, to which I responded, we were a community of some 30,000 people. The mayor had also mentioned that evening the possibility of a township newsletter, to which I commented that it's worth dependent on information before, not after the fact. The next and only time the indoor tennis courts were mentioned in our report was on February 19, 2015, when Fenton asked if the recreational facility on the agenda of the closed workshop meeting referred to the proposed construction of indoor tennis courts on township property. The answer was affirmative. It was also during that meeting that we became aware that the council had produced a resolution to put the proposal out to bid when someone asked, whom I believe now was Fenton, whether the proposal to find buyers had originally been made. When? Attorney August said he did not remember specifically, but thought 3 or 4 months ago. Recently, checking township minutes, we saw that the resolution was recorded in the consent agenda of October 2nd, 2014 meeting, and then that we had recorded it in our report. Apparently, we failed to note it, that in part might be due to the fact that it was included in the consent agenda that grouped routine items for a single vote. A more important reason is perhaps that the resolution does not mention indoor tennis courts or leasing township property. Here is what is recorded in the minutes. It says 14-188, authorize a request for proposals for the following: A, multi-purpose indoor recreation facility. And then it was recorded like 14,188 in the agenda, same thing. And in our report, we put 14,188. Anyone wishing a copy of these reports should contact us, and we'll be glad to send them to you.
Yeah, we don't need them, thank you.
All right. Finally, all this discussion leaves many open questions. For instance, the mayor and council have stated many times that they have been working on the project for some 3 years. Since it was first brought to the public's attention, December 2014, that would take its origin back to perhaps December 2011. More so, when finally presented to the public at the December 24th meeting, the mayor wrapped the project in glowing terms as a win-win proposition for in leasing our township land, we would receive $50,000 a year and more, and at the end of 2 consecutive 10-year leases, take ownership of the courts. While on the surface, and as presented, the project sounds positive and grand, but will we ever know, since it was never presented as an option, but as an accomplished condition, as of March 10, comes with a signed contract. Now, because nearly all the surrounding circumstances of the project are murky, we are made to wonder how the project got started 3 years ago. Did the developers come to the township, or the township go to the developers? We also remember Mayor Siciliano mentioning one time that he was friends with the developers, playing tennis with them at their courts, and we have been told that these developers own the indoor courts in Wall and Little Silver. While we can understand council thinking it is a good idea to locate the courts in front of the community pool to make a kind of sports center, we find it objectionable for them to decide to lease property belonging to all of us located in the middle of one of our residential neighborhoods for some 20 years that in effect changes the character of the neighborhood, placing in the heart of it a commercial establishment that will have at least 2 advertising signs, one of which will be electronic. Connected to this thought is another, about a developer finding it advantageous to lease township land rather than purchase land outright, which could be a fairer and healthier capitalistic venture. If, for instance, that land could possibly be within CU Square, that is in great need of more business. In this arrangement, the township could still be served by increased tax revenue, as well as the owners of the square and the tenants' courts both profit. We assume that their properties in Wall and Little Silver were most likely bought outright, remembering also council claiming our project was a first private-public venture, that in other words is privatization of public property. Still, there might have yet been another possibility. If residents find the idea worthy, the council might have at least explored constructing the courts themselves with the possible help of Green Acre funding, and in such way make perhaps a greater income while keeping the site community rather than commercial. The real point of all this becomes the fact that other options were not explored. Now, perhaps most interesting of council comments on April 2nd was the mayor taking exception to calling the project that now has a signed contract a done deal, where, as he explained, it was not done, but had to be approved by a planning board, and that residents there would have an opportunity to voice their concerns and opinions. We note also that, as usual, if the planning board approves, the project must return to council for a final step, and also that then who has served several years attending planning board meetings knows its members are good, honorable people. The issue here is whether or not the planning board or town hall is the place for such projects to be aired, and further, that sending the planning board a project that the council's stamp of approval and even a signed contract is in its way stacking the deck. But more important is the question whether the board of appointed officials whose main job is overseeing construction matters be the proper venue for discussion. We think the answer is obvious. Voters need to face their elected officials at town hall. But for that to happen, residents need to have information before, not after the fact.
Great, thank you for keeping it within the 15 minutes. First, I'm just going to comment on a few of the things, Mrs. Hudson. The same board that would look at that application is the same board that's gonna look at this synagogue application on Logan Road. I mean, they're appointed, I mean, they're here, I mean, that's who we have that serves us. Secondly, I don't play tennis. I never said I played tennis with that group. I said I met them in the tennis court. They're not my friends. We struck up a friendly conversation. I never said they owned any other facility.
No, I didn't say that.
You said Little Silver and...
We were told 2 other people that they own the other 2. We don't
They
know.
don't.
Okay.
So you're wrong there. Done deal. I just mentioned again that we're waiting for direction from Green Acres that it's possible they may want to have a public hearing. If not, he's offered to have a public hearing.
Yeah.
So he's offered that before, but, you know, listen, we can't conference call 27,332 people every time we make an action here in Ocean Township. We just can't do it. It's not, I'm speaking, you had 15 minutes. I'm going to give you another
I didn't have
15.
15 minutes.
You had 31.
I timed myself. I knew it was under 15
Yeah,
minutes.
I don't think so. Anyway, so that being said, no, it's not a done deal. No, they're not my friends. No, I didn't play tennis with them. No, they don't own any other facility. And I appreciate your opinion there. Like I said, we'll wait for direction from Green Acres as to we're going to have another public hearing, and he offered to have one.
All right, but, you know, we've been for a long time coming to these meetings, writing our reports, all right, that we can't do forever. And so we were asking the township to have a newsletter where you would report the facts. This should have been reported to people, and they should have been able to voice their opinion before that. But, you know, when you did it, you said it was a wonderful deal, and
I think that's my opinion. I think it is. I think it
I don't have a
is.
problem with that. All right, so they don't have an opinion, and.
Of course.
Right?
Of
So
course.
It's something we've been advocating for a long time, and it just happened to come up
Okay.
now. All right?
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
I'll be quick.
Okay.
Promise. And yes, I'm still young younger, and I still live at 1108. With
Thank you.
all due respect to Mrs. Hudson, because I really admire her and her husband coming out and reminding us of all our responsibilities. However, I think some of the comments tonight went just a little bit above and beyond, going to test some people's integrity. Secondly, Seaview Mall, while it might benefit the tax rolls, and they put this sky zone in there, that's one thing. But tennis facilities, I just don't see it. I don't see it. While the pool is a logical place, people come to swim. To me, I use it occasionally. I'm not a lifetime regular user. Don't buy the seasonal memberships. I haven't been using the pool since whenever it first came about. So I can't comment on those persons. What I feel is that once it's up, and if it looks reasonably close, or even better than the artist rendering, it will be no big deal for most of them. It'll just sound a little great. Everyone writes about something.
Sure. Abraham Lincoln had a saying, most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
That's a very good saying. But look what happened to him.
Don't go to the theater.
This is true. And the other thing I would say, as far as the homeowners opposite the pool facility, will their view really be obstructed that much of the open space that's there? My opinion, for what it's worth, which may not be very much, I can throw you a penny and get change back for it, is not that much. And again, when it first comes up, maybe they'll feel, you know, 5 months later, as though it wasn't there. That's what I think. I
Much
believe,
like the pool complex, when it was, I referred back to that back in the 70s, there was a lot of contention about that being built there on this bucolic setting, et cetera. How could you do that? We're only 2 miles from the beach, et cetera, and it's one of our best moneymakers. Folks use it. I think they'll use this facility, be open to the public, they'll have community discounts, et cetera. You know, listen, it's got to have a hearing. In my opinion, it's a good idea. If someone else doesn't think so, they're going to have
it strikes me from what I've heard, and I'll admit, do I know a lot about all this stuff? No. But on the surface, without digging into it, it seems like a good deal for the township, good deal as far as money goes, a good deal for providing another source of recreation to residents of the township, and that's what I have to say.
Great, thank you, Mr. Geiger, so there's another pending.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else?
Somebody new.
Yeah, well, we have somebody new for a change, come on up, and you come back, Mr.
I want to.
Just-
Is this a public part?
Yeah, come on up to the microphone and state your name and address.
I live here, so,
And the outline is
and I actually spoke to you this morning.
Oh,
My
yes.
name's Carol Downey.
Oh, yes, hey, Carol, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
And I felt compelled to come here tonight, but all the road detours?
I know, I'm willing tonight.
She was taking the helicopter.
It's taken me 5 minutes to
She
get
said
here.
Carol down.
Just get your address for the record.
Oh, 2304 Appleby Drive. And what I called about this morning was, and this goes back a couple of years, but a friend pointed out to me, there was an article in the Asbury Park Press about our water treatment facility that takes care of.
NJAW, yes.
And they were on a reprieve from chloramine. They went back to chlorine to wash out all the ammonia that chloramine puts into your water system. Well, chloramine kills fish, killed all my fish in my pond, and it's also very hazardous to people that are on dialysis. And I don't understand why we allow them to dictate that we're going to use chloramine now, because it's, as an effective bacterial side, it could be comparable, and maybe you use less, but it's hazardous as well. There's a lot of ammonia that's generated from that. And there's ammonia now in our water system because of it. So I know we're in a pool of a lot of townships that receive water from this treatment facility, but I guess what irritated me today was the point in the Asbury Park Press was, you won't smell chlorine in your water anymore. No, I'll say, so we'll just kill everybody. I mean, what can we do as a township to make this right? Because they're gonna give me, I'll ask for lab results, they'll give them to me, but they're gonna give them to me when everything's flushed out. But what happens right before it's all flushed out?
Right. I sent the email after we spoke to
Did you?
Mr. Brennan. We
Okay.
have a meeting tomorrow afternoon to discuss a little more, and, to see what we can come up with, if we can call them at least and
Does
maybe get
anybody
something.
ever have this effect? It's not a lot of
Because
people
we
here,
just-
but
Just educate me a second, they're using chloramine instead of
Chlorine.
chlorine.
yes.
And chloramine is some type of
It's
chemical
got
compound.
an ammonia, it's got an ammonia
Really
compound
strong
that's
compound.
attached to it.
Okay.
And so it makes your
Not
ammonia
rare.
levels
Okay.
rise.
Yeah,
Have them use ozone.
Huh?
Have them use ozone.
ozone.
Well, can I ask you a question also? Because you mentioned that
Purification.
your fish
Can be
diet
done.
result.
No chlorine
I mean,
at all.
there are plenty of other people who I guess have fish.
Oh, I know, I met them all at the pet stores.
They all get new fish. I would think maybe if you got those people together, because that's what motivates things, if you get people together who have a common issue and a common problem.
But I contacted New Jersey Water and they won't do anything about it.
Yeah, Carol's in for a little more help because she feels one-on-one.
I'm not even talking about the town not getting well, I'm just saying that is also helpful when you have people who have a similar issue and a similar problem who get together, and the town could be involved as well.
And like I spoke to the mayor this morning, I said, it's not so much my fish are my fish. This affects people that are on dialysis. So we're talking about people's health. And they're gonna flush the system April 20th, again. We went back to chlorine, I guess, for 2-3 months. I didn't know that. But I guess we went back to chlorine so that they could flush the ammonia out of the system. So now they're gonna re-inject back in this chloramine treatment. And what's it gonna do?
Yeah, good point. So, like I said, we'll call them tomorrow and see if we can get to somebody and find out more information about it. And then the next, I think it's stronger, Bill, and it's less that
I'm
they have to
gonna
use.
hazard a guess here and say that they probably, Jersey American Water probably alerted customers in the information that's sent out along with your bill. I'm guessing that.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't say
you're
that
right,
it's
you're
true,
correct.
I'm guessing
No,
that.
you're
Okay.
correct.
And the other thing is that I'm guessing that before they could do that, they probably had to go before the Board of Public Utilities to do it and get permission to do it. And I'm assuming that there was some type of scientific data that were marshaled on the part of New Jersey American Water. But again, I am just guessing. My background is in the English language, not in the water.
Understood.
Water.
I understand. 2 years ago, when they started this, and all my fish died, I had no notification, or I did not see any notification. I'm a chemist, I test my water. I tested my neighbor's waters. I was taking samples from everybody, trying to see how much ammonia they had in their water. And then I called New Jersey Water, and they said, well, you can get the lab results online. I went online, they all look good. Well, because they can take them anytime they want. And they said, well, you got notification in your bill. And, well, unfortunately, you know, most people just throw out all those brochure things that come in your mail, but I said, well, can I see what you sent me? Because I don't have it. And in big bold letters, it said, hazardous to dialysis patients and fish. Now, I don't think I would have missed that. I mean, that was in big bold letters at the top of the pamphlet. So I can't say that they didn't send it to me. I can't, you know, I don't know. I
Right,
jumped that comes with
didn't
your
see it.
bill.
Sure.
And so, this time around, there was no notification that they've switched back to chlorine, and now they're going back to chloramine. And this time of year is where, and I'll take my fish side, and not to belittle the patients that are on dialysis, but this is the time we clean out our ponds, and we get the pump running, and we clean them out, and we
Yeah, you put 'em
refill
in
the
there.
water, and now I'm gonna be faced with the same thing. They're gonna just blast this whole system with chlorine, or chloramine again. And I don't know why we let them do that. Now, my guess, and I don't know this for sure, but it's my opinion, that 2 years ago, when they switched over, they did not know how to regulate the chloramine that they were putting in the water, because it's not the same as chlorine. You don't need as much. Maybe they were putting in too much, and over the course of time, I've done things to my water to make sure that I was aerating it and getting the amines out, the ammonia, and maybe they figured out what is the right dose to put in there. I don't know, because they won't tell me, but I just don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know that we can stop it by April 20th, but we'll make a phone call for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Carol, thank you.
And you know what, the detours really confused me.
I know, it's just for 2 days.
I was just going in circles. I'm like, I know where this place is, I just can't get there.
Be patient.
Just in time,
It'll be nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Hudson, I'll allow, but are you going to debate? Because if that's so, I can't allow
I was just
that
going to
here.
say that Mr. Geiger's point of view, and my point of view, and other people's point of view, that's the point, that's the point.
Okay.
All right, that, you know,
Awesome.
you.
There's many points of
And
views.
also what she's talking about with the water company.
Yeah.
We need to know. All right, that's all. We need
Okay.
to know.
That's not something we're hiding from you, though.
No, I don't think you did hide.
Okay.
I don't think you hide it on purpose, all right? You just
No, we
need to
didn't have
hide it.
anything on the water company.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing or hearing no one, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Councilmembers Evans. Long.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
And Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes, and just remember, we air these meetings twice a day, except for Tuesdays. It's at 10 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Channel 77 and 22 if you have files. Thank you for coming, meeting adjourned.
Look at your newsletter.